Get in the cart.
Right at us.
The best in the business, Roger Cleveland.
Can't wait to get back to Chicago in this one.
This is Party of Four, a Mistwood Golf Club podcast. It is season 4 of the Party of Four. I'm Ben Hutchison alongside Mistwood Director of Golf, PGA Director of Golf, Andy Michelson.
How you doing, Ben? I had to dust my mic off. Had cobwebs on it. It's been a while.
I don't want our loyal listeners in Germany and beyond to get upset that we haven't been back in the chair here. But we were going through the stats. We're averaging more than 10 episodes a season.
It's busy, man. For our brand, it's kind of weird, but I think we're busier in the winter than we are in the summer. Like, it's almost easier to do things in the summer. But in the winter, we got domes going, we got junior golf going, we still got membership services stuff going. It's just crazy. Plus, we put in 3 new sim bays over at the dome, so that was exciting and taking up our time. So it's busier this winter, it seems like, than ever.
It's a good problem to have, and
absolutely,
like you said, multiple different things happening, and the sim bays are awesome. So if anyone is out there that hasn't seen the sim bays, as part of parties and everything else with McQuethy Sports Bar.
Simulator Suites, we got to get it right.
The suites.
Suites.
How's it going the first couple weeks of those?
Good. People are utilizing them. They like it. The technology we use in there is really easy and simple to use, and people are gravitating towards it. I mean, simulator golf, same way we kind of push the envelope on Top Tracer, I feel like the rest of the market did that with simulator golf already, so it's not like it's all that daunting to, book a suite and go in there and play. A few tweaks here and there, you can get set up and go and just play. Simulator golf around the world is actually taking hold to a much larger degree than even in the U.S., and so it's just going to be that much more of a prominent thing going forward, so we want to be part of that.
And if you missed Mistwood, we're on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so there's over 100,000 courses on that system, and somebody mapped out Mistwood back in the day. It's not a perfect rendering, but you get the gist.
There's a lot of trees.
Yeah, there's a lot of trees on it, but it's pretty nice. I mean, the contouring, you hit certain shots into certain holes, like the 10th hole, the way that green's kind of goofy with the contouring. It's got all of that built in, so it's fun to play, and I know that kind of a lot of our regulars and members have been trying that golf course a lot.
This is my favorite episode of the year, which kind of stinks because it's the first episode of the year, but that's also exciting because we were at the PGA Show in Orlando last week.
Yes, sir. It's like fantasy camp. I say this all the time. It's like fantasy camp. When else does somebody in my position, our position, get to talk to the captains of industry, get to talk to, what they were thinking when designing this, why they did what they did, like what kind of perspective you get from them is just absolutely amazing and cool. And then also, at the show too, you get some of the little guys, like the guy that's trying to make it with his, the training aid or something like that. And I like to hit all those spots because there's sometimes there's like gold in them there hills, so I like to walk the whole entire floor, even though it's miles and miles and miles of golf. And I think they always say that basically that whole floor represents about $75 billion of the golf industry. So it's literally every aspect of it is shown at that show.
And it was beneficial for the other teachers and pros here because you did spend a lot of time with those training aids, and you may have brought out the credit card.
Yeah, the credit card did some work. It did a little bit of work in the training aid space. Now, we brought down kind of first time since COVID, brought down a fair amount of our staff, and each person kind of had their role in what I wanted them to look at and focus on. And one of those was training aids, new technologies. Frank and Bobby were kind of focused more on, filling the pro shop for the year, stuff like that. So everybody has their role when they go. I know everyone thinks that, man, we send the whole staff just to go down there and have fun. There is a fun element to it. There's definitely a networking element to it, but everyone has their role in their job when they go down to the show.
You made the comparison when we were there. I believe you linked Orlando and the Wisconsin Dells. Please explain.
Yes. Two places that are definitely tourist traps that people have very strong feelings about, either for or against, and I happen to love them both.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I love Orlando. There is the Disney element. I love Orlando, but I don't enjoy the Wisconsin Dells. I think it's probably because of my past TV experience, and the times I went to Wisconsin Dells in the area was for some sort of crime to cover. So it was like, hey, there was a murder near the Wisconsin Dells. You have to go cover that story. So I think I just didn't have the same fun element. I'll admit I've never been to one of the water parks. I hear some are better than the others.
Yeah.
I've been to a sports bar out there. We were supposed to golf at Sand Valley, and then the rain washed everything out, and we're like, well, we got to drive within whatever to get some food and drink. During a bachelor party, we ended up at a sports bar that I guess everyone goes to, and that was fine. I mean, that was enjoyable, but... All right, Wisconsin Dells and Orlando.
100%.
So you talked about the things you enjoy at the convention center when we go there. We did want to share some of the interviews we did while we were there and realize that some of this might actually be better visually, but that's why we have our YouTube page. We have our other social medias. I think the technology and excitement will translate through audio. Do you think that'll happen?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So first up, at Callaway, we had a chance to meet with Michael Verska, the director of custom fitting and player performance, and Andy actually talked through what's new with the Paradigm line and the Versa putter.
So I've hit it. It's awesome. It's faster. It's longer. Launches higher. I don't really know how you guys keep doing it year after year, but kind of go through how this all works.
Yeah, so we have an amazing R&D team that puts a lot of effort in. You know, we've won every PGA Tour event so far, 3 for 3, all with Paradigm. Really, the main thing is this 360-degree carbon chassis. So all of this around here, this entire centerpiece is carbon. It's really carbon where you want it, where it does the most benefit. 2 different kinds. We have this triaxial carbon fiber, which is super light, super thin, but still provides the structure. And this is really cool. This is called forged carbon. And what that is it's kind of different layers that we can shape, and you can see the different hard edges that you couldn't do with other ways.
Yeah.
Only thing that's ever been used before is like race cars and exotic vehicles, and now it's on a driver. So it provides a lot of strength with super lightweight. And then you get into all the other great features. We have what we call our APW, or adjustable weight. 15 grams you can move. It's just literally 15 yards of heel.
This is on the standard model?
This is the standard model. Yep. But where the magic really happens is up in the face. So because we've reduced weight there, we can really put a lot of weight in the face where it does a lot of good. We have our jailbreak AI technology, which really ties the crown to the sole, which really gives all the energy transfer to the face. And we have our AI, so each face is individual designed to produce maximum ball speed with consistent spin and consistent ball speed across the face because of that AI design. So the ability to wrap all of those technologies rather than, hey, here's a technology and here's a technology, to work holistically with our AI is really what the winner is.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I don't think a whole lot of people know that each and every loft has its own distinct face.
Yeah, so when you get like our triple diamond, which is our #1 driver on tour, it's a little different for that player who hits the center more often, who has a little more speed. Still has a 360 carbon chassis, the weight in the back, the weight in front. So it's not just one size fits all. It's literally this is the right face for this player type at 10.5 degrees. This is the right face type with all the different geometry for the 8-degree triple diamond. So
and the triple diamond is the one that I have, and the thing I'm kind of most excited about, it kind of like checks all boxes, right? You have when a ball is hit off the high toe, traditionally with kind of some old drivers, it would just kind of nosedive, right? With this triple diamond, still stays in the air a little bit. Even off the bottom, still kind of goes quite a bit. But I think the thing that I like the most is kind of somebody that tends to play quite a bit right to left. That thing just goes straight. And it's actually got probably the most fade bias. I've noticed the most fade bias of any driver I've hit in the Callaway family.
Yeah, we certainly have the Paradigm X, which is more of a draw bias, kind of your average player. Don't mean that in a negative way, but the player who might slice it or fade it needs that help.
90% of the golfers.
Yeah, we have the Paradigm, kind of right up the middle, but we can make that fade bias, we can make it draw bias with a lot of forgiveness, and then the Triple Diamond just kind of straight to a straight fade. The thing that's amazing to me about the Triple Diamond is that downrange dispersion, and all of these is how tight those misses are. And that's what we're seeing with our tour players and John Rahm, Siwoo Kim, and Xander is, they can do things with this club that in the past they're like, I might miss the fairway right. Now it's catching the edge. So the downrange dispersion is so tight because of the way to move the mass and get it dialed in. So it's a big thing this year.
The thing that's so important about that too is like if you're comfortable with what happens downrange, you swing harder, you swing faster, and the driver performs even that much better.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. We're seeing it with your average 12 handicap, your average 18 handicap. We're seeing it on the tour that the technology works, and again, it's that holistic approach with AI and looking at each individual thing and tying it together. We're so excited for this year.
So how does that technology kind of hop into the iron?
Yeah, so it's different, but it's similar in many ways. It's a 455 face cup, super fast, and we also have the speed frame. So literally holes. It's a hollow body, and you can't see it because we have the badge or medallion over the back.
Yeah.
But weight's removed strategically. It still has the urethane microspheres. It has dual tungsten. So again, we remove weight where it doesn't do good. And we put it back in. Still has the AI face. Again, very consistent, especially on some low hits.
Yeah.
You still get good distance on the high hits, and again, tying it all together. So our ability to model and to test digitally and then get into something that really benefits golfers of all skill level is next level.
Super fast, high launching. It does spin. You can control it, control the iron coming in. I mean, it checks all boxes. It's going to be real good iron for us. The last thing, the Versa putter, kind of bringing back something that worked in the past, right?
Yeah, in fact, it just launched this morning officially. So Versa, we launched about 8-9 years ago, tremendously successful. And people may think, wow, I know I've seen that before. We've had Versa in use literally every year on tour.
Oh yeah,
on
absolutely.
PGA, on LPGA, on the DP World Tour, other tours. So it works, and it's a great way. It's an alignment method. You get down to putting, and I'm a big believer in putter fitting. Everybody should go get fit for putters. But you get right down to it. If you can do two things, if you can get the face square at impact and you can align it right, everything else, kind of the sins of putting, go away. And the Versa, we've seen that over and over again. Phil Kenyon, one of the top tour teachers in the world for putting, he's a big believer in Versa as one of the driving forces to get it back out. So it's a way to put it down. There's different widths. It's always black, white, black. If you have a white golf ball or a colored golf ball, and it's just really easy to line. So if you start it somewhere in the hole, it's easier to get back. You don't have to manipulate the face. So we're real excited for that continued technology. Rebirth, improved, the CG's a little more forward, so it's easier, more stable. So it's not the putter of 8 years ago, but one of that key technology for alignment and getting dialed in is right there.
Yeah, and the 12 comes out this year, which is, you had the 10, 11, and 12, and so kind of how is that different from the 11? Because the 11 pushed so much weight forward. Improve the feel, the roll, everything else.
Yeah, so the Versa 12 is a mallet putter. It's kind of in that 10, 11, 12 vein, so it's a new mallet shape, but it has Versa technology. But it's 90-degree opposed, so the white is going linear for those players who align more linear rather than perpendicular, and there's both types. So we want to have that option for everybody, so there is a Versa 12. It's a great mallet putter if you need a little more forgiveness, but the weight is pushed forward. We continue to see a forward CG with very high MOI is a great combination for virtually every player, including tour players, not handicap. For so long as an industry, including Odyssey, we're pushing that weight back, and we found if we actually push it forward, if you can maintain the MOI, that's really the home run in putters.
That's awesome. Well, can't thank you enough for being part of the team and making some great product.
Happy to hopefully see you in Chicago before too long.
Thank you.
I'm just behind the camera, but watching those interviews, I enjoy it because I can nerd out a little bit as I learn more about the game of golf, but you guys just flow and every little intricate detail.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a great interview, great follow on social media. But he is directly. I've been to Callaway headquarters. He is literally directly part of the team that is making these golf clubs. So that's why he's so passionate about it. And then on my side, I mean, those are my boys. That's the stuff I hit, right? So I was able to go out and play beforehand for a few days with some members, and really was thoroughly impressed with what the new technology is, which is it's just amazing that they're able to make it faster, longer, and more forgiving. That's the moniker John Rahm always says. I only ask them to do three things: make it faster, longer, and more forgiving. So it seems like they've done all three. And actually, kind of the sleeper, like you said, the Versa, the Versa putter line was one of their most popular lines. It was launched in 2013, I want to say, and they're bringing it back. They're smart about this. They're not, keep yes, they're pushing the envelope as far as technology goes. So there's like technology under the hood, like in this new 12 putter that they have. But they're going back to some old tried and true things that's working on tour. Guys still play that Versaline on tour, and they're now just giving new options with new technologies built in to lines that were very, very popular. You know, they brought back the OG a couple of years ago. I mean, the original 2-ball putter, I don't know how many people know this, is the best-selling putter of all time. It's the best-selling putter design of all time. Why wouldn't you go back to that? So what they did was they put in some new technologies with what they had now with what was with the past, and they keep doing that. So I'm glad that they look backwards and forwards at the same time.
I want to bring something up with something like the putter, and you talk about the older school putter, anything 10, 15 years old. Is that the club that golfers tend to hold on to the most?
100%. Yeah. I have a 2-ball white ice putter, which would be from 2011. So that's 12 years old. And it's hard to get out of my bag. I have another putter that is about 4 or 5 years old. The putter is one of those things that once you kind of connect with it, it's not one of those things that you get out of the bag quickly. A putter and a 3-wood is what most people say. If you find a 3-wood you like, you tend to hold on to it for a while. Those are things that you don't necessarily recycle. Drivers are one of those things that you just keep going through the new stuff, right? Irons is usually every 3 to 5 years for us club pros, just because we're helping market these brands. Usually every year, every other year, you're going through irons and wedges and stuff like that. But it's like 3-wood and putter are those two like holy grails you can't touch if you get a good one.
I think I was talking to head pro Frank about that, and I want to say he's got like a 2 or a 3 iron or something that he has had in his bag a long time.
Yeah, so he has a old Mizuno Fly High from, I think, 2008.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
I can't believe he hasn't cracked a face on it. And then he's got this old baby, a 913F, which would be at least 10 years old, Titleist 3-wood that he liked from back in the day. And sometimes it finds its way in the bag, like one around here or there. But no, he likes the new TaylorMade stuff. He loves the new Stealth. The problem with Frank is like, well, it's a problem for me. It's not a problem for Frank. Frank's like found the magic in the last 2 Stealths to where he's getting the right amount of launch and the right amount of spin. So I was 30 behind him, and now I'm like 50 behind him.
Jeez.
It's just not fair anymore right now. So, yeah, that lineup's really good too. So I mean, it's an exciting year for golf clubs in general. I mean, everything's good. Everything's good now. I was just having this discussion with somebody the other day. It's like you could pick 5 different drivers and not go wrong. They're all good. Just what looks best to you looking down at it.
Yep. Well, after Callaway, we stopped next door over at Shrixon, and we talked with our local rep there about their new line.
All right, we're here with Frank Michael, our sales representative in the Chicagoland area for Shrixon. And want to talk about the new wood lineup and iron lineup. We'll start with the irons. You want to go through kind of the game improvement, and then we'll hop into more of the players' irons.
Absolutely, Andy. Yeah, thanks for having me. Our probably biggest iron that we've tweaked from the previous generation would be our ZX4. So cleaning up the offset a little bit, narrowing up the sole just about 0.3 millimeters, but it's our most forgiving Shrixon iron. Still with a forged face to get that Shrixon patented feel, but definitely fully hollow to have that maximum forgiveness from heel to toe.
Talk about that, kind of how important that feel is kind of amongst all the way through the player's iron, all the way up into the game improvement, because you guys do a good job of that, maintaining that feel.
Yeah, you can kind of see this little ridge in the back of all our irons. It's a little more emphasized in the player's irons, but that's just adding additional mass behind the sweet spot just to improve, impact feel. So obviously feel is a big part of getting the right distance with the irons, and that's one of the main things we did to improve feel in our lineup. The ZX4 kind of stands on its own in terms of max forgiveness, but you can blend it with all these other irons.
Yeah.
They are designed to all to be mixed and matched.
Right.
So we have a lot of players do this in the long, and then you can do these in the short, but probably our most popular iron would be the ZX5. That's going to be still a 2-piece forged iron, but a little less offset than the 4, a little bit thinner sole, but probably our cleanest overall iron, and packs a lot of forgiveness overall. But still forged like the other irons there too.
The thing too that's always unique about Shrixon irons is they have kind of the rib going through the bottom. Kind of explain what that does is and how different that is from all the other irons that are on the market.
Yeah, absolutely, Andy. That's one of the things our tour players love most about our irons.
Yeah, they kind of get in and get out.
Exactly. So we got a VT sole is what we call it. It's got a little higher leading edge bounce, trailing negative edge bounce. What allows the golfer, whether they take very little divot or a lot of divot, it helps you reduce drag through the turf, maintain that club head speed, and kind of help that feel and distance and the interaction with the turf. And kind of going from our more forgiving irons to our more players irons, we have our ZX7, which is what a strong majority of our tour staff uses. It's a one-piece forged. It's 1020 carbon steel, so 5 less degrees of carbon than industry standard. And then we have the one-piece forged as well.
This wins the swimsuit competition. This thing looks great. Talk through this a little bit more.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is kind of Hideki's iron, if you will, but it is our blade. We've had our previous blade has been around for 5-6 years, so this is kind of our next generation of that. But our other irons are every 2 years. But again, 1020 carbon steel, the muscle back look there. But I don't know what else to say. I won't be playing it.
It's beautiful.
But it's a good looking club, and obviously
club.
Clean look. But that ZX7 is where kind of the sweet spot is for the better player. You got the little added forgiveness, but looks just as clean as a blade iron.
All right, so now I know something you guys are really excited about is the whole wood lineup. So let's talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, no, thank you, Andy. So the irons have kind of caught on fire, and we've got a lot in play there. But the drivers, if anything, is something. I don't want to say really surprising us, but we're getting a lot of really good independent feedback with our drivers. So we have 2 main drivers that we've had the last couple of years. We have our ZX5 and we have our ZX7, kind of correlate with the
same
irons.
name, but new for this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we got the Mark II is the differentiate from the previous generation, but our ZX5 is going to be a little bit longer from front to back. It's got a weight port in the back for a higher launch. And then our ZX7 is going to have the heel toe weight for a little bit more workability. And then you got the a little more compact from front to back. But
both 460?
Both 460. You can kind of look at this one as a lower trajectory, more fade bias.
Deeper face.
Yeah. And then the ZX5 is going to be higher, more draw-focused driver.
And then this one's a new cat in town,
yes,
the LS.
The LS. So for those stronger players, the high swing speed, high spin rate guys, this is going to be your driver. So we got a lower launching, lower spinning driver. A lot of that's derived from that weight port in the front. We go from down to 2 grams up to 14.
Yeah.
So you can dial in that swing weight, dial in that spin rate just based on the weight. In the front of the driver, and like I said, the ZX7, we got in the heel toe that you can adjust in the 5 in the back. But big thing with our driver is ball speed. So we're winning the ball speed test from what we see on our numbers. We have an all titanium construction, so that's our big thing for this year is going all titanium in the crown and the face, obviously. But that's how we're noticing in R&D to generate ball speed.
So it probably would have that more kind of traditional feel.
Traditional sound, traditional feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. But
and then the Fairwood's a sleeper. Fairwood's hot.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. We make it in 3+, 3, 5, and 7, so we do go up to a 7 wood. That's getting more and more popular.
Yeah.
But same technology we're putting into the driver, we're putting into our fairway woods, but with a steel construction.
Nice.
So, and then we do have the same thing with the hybrid as well. Really nice. Really
not
nice
a whole lot
shape
of
for a
offset,
hybrid.
not like any type of left bias. It looks real clean.
Yeah, very clean look. Our whole Strixon lineup's derived for the tour player, for the better player, so it's all got the cleaner looks.
Awesome.
And then Cleveland Golf's going to have a little bit more game improvement, more maybe average, a higher handicap, more average golfers club. So.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see all these products at Mistwood and the Mistwood Golf Dome, so stop by and see us.
Available
Thanks,
today.
Frank.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you for having me
Appreciate
on.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, Strixon had a nice booth set up, and they clearly have a wide variety of options for all kinds of golfers.
Yeah, a couple different things of interest there. You know, they're going with an all titanium driver head, which we haven't seen in a while from any of the major companies. Everyone's trying to infuse different types of graphite or carbon in their head. So they've gone back to all titanium model. It's very competitive as far as distance goes. I think like I said in the video, I think the 3-wood's kind of a sleeper. It's been a sleeper the last couple of years. Really good when we've tested it and hit it. And then they've got the looks and feel like pegged right now. They really do. Strixon's done a really nice job. Endo forging for you golf nerds out there is what they do. It's still one-piece forging for a lot of their lineup, especially the ZX7 and the blade. It's just a beautiful looking golf club. It's one of those things like, when you set it down, it's a good-looking golf club. You have confidence because it looks so good.
You said that blade wins the swimsuit competition.
100% wins the swimsuit competition. That thing is beautiful. You set that down, it's like, that's what a golf club's supposed to look like. You just say it to yourself. It's like, it does. It checks all boxes. Nice square look. They really stand behind the bottom of the club, the way it kind of, the V-sole, for lack of a better term, and how the club gets in and out. I mean, I haven't had a whole lot of experience with Strixon clubs, but it's kind of interesting. They put that on every single iron, and then they really stand behind that.
Now the next one was a must-stop for you over at Titleist. Why?
It's a must-stop because everybody gets it wrong. You walk in the pro shop, and everyone's like, give me the Pro V1 because it spins more, or give me this ball because it spins less. Like, everybody gets it wrong. Every single person gets it wrong. So it's not like I was there trying to sell more golf balls. I'm just trying to make sure everybody has the right golf ball when they come in the shop. So I think that's very good that we got who we got from Titleist to literally explain each and every golf ball. The guy who's helps design the golf balls to know exactly what each ball is supposed to do.
Yeah, let's hear from Derek Ladd, Director of Research for Golf Ball R&D with Titleist.
So kind of run us through the lineup. I know in the past people thought, certain balls did certain things, but we want to hear from Titleist's mouth. How exactly do these balls perform differently from each other?
Sure. I mean, we can start with Pro V1. Pro V1 is our kind of between Pro V1 and Pro V1X. It's a little bit lower compression, flies a little bit lower, slightly lower spin off the tee with your long irons. But once you get in and around the green, close to the same spin, but Pro V1X, because it's a higher compression, will spin slightly more around the greens.
So this will spin slightly less just overall all the way through the back?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So flies a little lower.
Yep.
It's a little softer feeling. It's a little lower compression.
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's hop into Pro V1X.
Right, so Pro V1X is one of our highest flying models, also our highest spinning models. Higher compression, both of them very long off the tee, but it's for those golfers. More your average golfers actually need that spin around the green, so right. Pro V1X kind of fits that category pretty well.
So a guy that wants to play a premium golf ball and tends to have more of kind of a fade bias, what would you think would be a better ball to kind of maybe lower spin?
Yeah, I mean, if they have the problem with too much spin, because typically that fade is with the extra spin, you might want to bring them down to the Pro V1, gotcha. Or even moves us into left dash, okay. Right? Left dash is a good option. Higher launch, not as high as Pro V1X, but lower spin than Pro V1X.
So we've got X, dash, Pro V1
yes.
So far. Okay, gotcha. So what were the characteristics kind of about?
So that's one of our lowest spin models,
okay.
Not quite as low spin as AVX, but flies higher than AVX. Higher compression. With that, we can get some of the spin around the greens that we wouldn't necessarily have.
Nice. This is an attractive ball for tour guys, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so it started out on tour right around 2017 is when we introduced it out there. A lot of the technology that went into that as far as our casing layer and now the inner side of our center. The inner side of our center has now made its way into the 13 product, which has
gotcha.
a larger center than what it did.
Very cool. And then probably the ball I see get wrong a lot more than most is the AVX. It's a unique ball. Kind of talk us through what that's all about.
Yeah, so AVX, we try to target those golfers because even though people will say, I can't compress the ball, which isn't true, we still need to make a golf ball for those people that, want that softer feeling golf ball. So that's kind of a 80-ish compression versus 90 for Pro V1, so it's lower compression, flies lower to target that audience, so it's longer with the irons, but it still gets good distance with the driver.
So as far as like driver distance goes, would you notice any considerable difference between any of the golf balls?
For most people, no. Off a robot, which consistently hits the same spot over and over, there might be a 2 to 3 yard difference between them depending on setup. So no, they're all long. They're all
awesome.
long.
Awesome. Well, I hope this helps everybody make better decisions about their golf balls going forward, and can't thank you enough.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
I got a lot of use out of that as well because golf is hard enough as it is, and if there's a golf ball you can be using that will maybe help you drop 4, 5, 6 strokes, it's a big deal.
Yeah, a few of the big takeaways for me is that regardless of what ball you're using in that Titleist family, it doesn't seem like any certain ball goes further than any other certain ball. I mean, he's had 2 or 3 yards on an iron by iron with the driver, which is almost negligible depending on kind of where you hit it. But each ball does its own job, and that's whether it's with Titleist, whether it's with Callaway, or whoever it is. It's each ball kind of does its own job, and so there is something to a ball fitting. If you're looking for certain things, if you're looking just for raw distance, there's balls for that. If you're looking for better shot shaping around the greens, there's ball for that. If you're looking for a lower ball flight, there's balls for that. Like, ball fitting now is a real thing. It's not just one type of ball that you have to choose. I mean, I'm seeing I'm more kind of intimately involved with the Callaway guys, but Callaway and Titleist, for instance, Titleist has the left dash and Callaway has the Chrome Soft X LS. Those are both balls that were born on tour. Those are both variations of original Pro V1X and Chrome Soft X. Those are both balls that tour guys wanted certain aspects, lower spin, higher launch, those type of things, and got that. And, they figured, well, hey, maybe the general public wants this ball too. So it's really cool that companies are taking their technology, not just for technology's sake, but they're taking their technology with aspects of feedback from tour and making a better ball for all of us.
It was a ton of fun. And another stop we got to make was actually demo day, which was the day before we headed over to the show. But teaching professional Chris Iriarty tried out the new equipment from Mizuno with our local rep, Chris Campbell. And here is what they're sharing about what's new.
923 Tour, the JPX model that Chris is trying out right now, that's just about ready to be released in the beginning of February, along with the new 923 Forge. So those are brand new for 2023 for Mizuno. This is got a layer of copper under the finish, so that'll be one of the new additions along with the new V chassis design, which gives us some extra stability, even in more of a player's iron category that Chris is looking at.
I like it too. I mean, the distance isn't severely altered either. I mean, it's just kind of a stock 7-iron going about 170, 175, which I like. Just feels real consistent. Center hit, toe hit still feels good. Ball still launching out of the same window with that toe hit. And just feels great.
I know you and Frank actually busted out the Mizuno drivers because that's what Demo Day is all about. Try the new equipment, see what's out there. Just, you guys love swinging the golf club. So you actually learned something, though, when we went there.
I learned something, yes. So we were messing around and took a 3-wood shaft and put it in a driver head. And really, the change in distance wasn't all that great. And basically, it's based on the premise of a shorter driver length. You're going to hit the ball in the center of the face a little bit more often, especially shorter guy like me, like shorter in height. You're going to hit the center of the face a lot more often than a longer driver. So a longer driver here and there, you might catch one right in the middle. With a longer driver, it might go a little bit further, but your downrange dispersion, meaning left or right, might be a little bit more off. Shorter length driver, hitting it more in the center, and my dispersion was like, you could hang clothes on that line. I mean, it wasn't going left or right. It was just going straight. And also that lowers the spin a little bit. So I'm still able to launch it as high as I would my normal driver. Spin lowers. Ball doesn't go left or right as much, and I'm hitting in the center of the face. So there's a lot of advantages to it. Kind of opened my eyes to like the extremes. Obviously, I wouldn't cut my driver down like to 43 inches, but maybe I could take an inch off, and maybe I could hit it a little bit more in the center and still be gaining distance because I have a better driver this year than I had last year. So it definitely opened my eyes. Probably something that I'm going to do is probably shorten my driver by an inch.
And another thing we've done here at Mistwood is we've expanded our Mistwood Performance Academy and our junior program. And over at US Kids Golf, they have a whole new bunch of stuff that you were really impressed with.
Yeah, that blew me away. So they did, I will say in the past, like US Kids Golf, you take a kid to a point and then you tell the parent, hey, it's time now to go into the Ping Prodigy. It's time now to go in the Callaway XJ series. It's time now to, go into kind of more of a teen type of club or even a women's club where you're getting an actual titanium club head that's got some hit to it. So that's always kind of been the thing with us with US Kids is like it gets you to a point. Well, now US Kids will take you all the way up through high school if you want. They have an adjustable driver, which it's a little stroke of genius. I don't know why everyone else hasn't done it. But they have an interchangeable driver now that's going to be launching, I think, in March, where you can start them all the way at 51 inches and work them all the way up to, I think, 5.5 feet, I want to say. And you're literally just changing the driver shaft. So you keep the same club head and you just change the length of the driver shaft. And it's like, shoot, that was genius. That's smart. And it only costs you, it's under $400 for this driver. And each time you change the shaft, it's $60, but it's better than buying a new driver 4 or 5, 6 times, throughout their kind of playing life cycle and get them all the way up into high school. So that's really cool. But then the thing that most impressed us, we took a Tour Series U.S. Kids Club, which literally probably would have shattered in Frank's and I's hands in the past, especially Frank's. And we're standing there swinging full speed and roasting these things. And the head was stable, shaft was stable. Like everything was really, really solid on these. And so I was probably most impressed by that, the fact that they've really pushed to make their stuff competitive or even better than any other junior product that's out there. Because in the past, definitely, U.S. Kids was good until a point, and then you got to walk away from them to somebody else.
Speaking of roasting it and hitting it, it was fun to see World Long Drive champion Kyle Berkshire out there at the Cobra booth with a big audience. He maxed out the range at 420 yards. He brought out the gamer. They didn't want to show too much, but he's excited about the technology, and just watching that is just so cool.
Yeah, it's hard to even track a ball going that fast. I mean, you're talking, 230 ball speed?
220, 225, I think was what we were seeing.
Probably wasn't totally maxing out, but it's just crazy fast to see somebody moving that way. It's like, it's hard. It's like every single swing, they're going full out to hit it that hard. I mean, it kind of throws people off a little bit and thinking that they need to go at it that hard or they'll be able to sustain that. But definitely what's cool about the long drive guys, as kind of a golf geek, you watch what they do. And some of their movements that they're doing now to create more speed is pretty common. Like you're starting to see kind of more of that left hip clear earlier. You're starting to see a lot more kind of just better rotation in general of the upper and lower working together and separate, kind of both at the same time. So there's a lot of things that if you watch it, like I know you have slow-mo video of Berkshire hitting it, like you watch that and watch what he's doing and try and mimic some of those movements, because we can't all mimic the movements that he's doing. I mean, he trains literally 100% for that. You're going to gain some distance. Like you're going to definitely gain some distance looking at some of the things that he does in his golf swing.
I think I saw some of his story. I think he was going to school at like North Texas or something. And then there was a competition and his friends were like, oh, check it out or whatever. And he did really well. And then it was like, all right, this might be the path I take with my golf career. But it was just fun to watch him. And I cringe every time at the back because I just can't imagine what the body's going through. But again, he stays in good shape. He obviously does whatever stretches and everything else he needs to stay in shape and healthy. But man, it's amazing seeing that. He talked about, it was cool because he was mic'd up, how when he was going for the 232, 233 speed with it all, it took him out for days. He was exhausted.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it like at here, I'm going to compare something completely random. You ever been to the San Diego Zoo and they run the cheetah once a day?
Yeah.
And they do that because the cheetah literally needs that much time to rest before they do it again the next day. And these guys are the same way. When we saw the dude melting it inside of the TrackMan bay.
Scotty Pearman.
There you go. The guy's melting it in there. Has one that was 412 that we recorded. He took 2 minutes and rested and then went back at it. I mean, it's got to be taxing.
Yeah.
I mean, like the speed that they swing that thing at just blows my mind. I'm like trying to figure it out. I mean, I'm in no shape to actually do that, but it just blows my mind.
So what's your takeaway? Because you always talk about how whether it's this or a manager's conference, you have ideas. Your brain is going a million miles an hour when you come back from these.
I feel like we're in a good spot right now from a technology standpoint. I did make sure to kind of stop and look and see everything that was out there. Even, see what's new with Top Trace, even though we're a partner. See what's new with TrackMan, even though we're a partner. See what's new with Unicore, the new system that we have in the simulator suites. I think we might even have an option with them to get our golf course mapped out, but that's another story. Look at things like Putt View. That Putt View thing was cool. I mean, for what it is, and the price might not be right for us, but like that's a technology I'm going to keep my eye on, and things like that. There's always really good ideas out there. We got some great ideas with some of the technology we currently use, like Sportsbox and things like that. How we can integrate it a little bit better and deeper into our daily teaching. There's some new technologies around video, like V1 has kind of always been the gold standard. Now Swing Catalyst is making some plays. Like all of these things are just things that we need to keep our eye on, and we do keep our eye on by going to the show. And the show is second to none in allowing you to do that, to be able to walk the floor and talk to the people that are actually designing these things. Talked about with training aids. Like these are the people that invented them, put their heart and soul into it, and really, have created something special sometimes.
Let's continue the conversation about the world of golf, and the PGA Tour Live Showdown continues. What about the Rory McIlroy, Patrick Reed beef? The tee tossing from Reed, one with the 4 Aces logo from the Live Golf League.
I'm all on board for Patrick throwing that tee at Rory. I mean, come on, dude. Turn around, say hi.
Just acknowledge him.
Who cares? Right, who cares?
I did not think we'd be defending Patrick Reed on this show. Ever. I mean, I think it's all...
I've been known to unpopularly defend him at times.
He called McIlroy, quote, an immature little child, said it was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But McIlroy, at the end of the week, edged out Reed by a stroke with a clutch birdie on the 18th at the Dubai Desert Classic. Man, what would have playoff been like between those two after the week they had?
Plus the sketchy, ball in the tree thing. I mean, that's sketchy.
That's on brand for Reed.
Yeah, it's like if you don't actually put your hand on it, how can you take an unplayable? Like that's sketchy. It's like hitting the ball in the water. Like there is that rule, that kind of provisional rule, that if you do hit your ball in a penalty area and everybody saw it go in there penalty area and it's in that spot, then you take the relief. I mean, yeah, but to take an unplayable in that situation where you don't actually have your hand on it and you're just going on the speculation of the player, especially that player, that's kind of sketch. But it's a good tournament. I hate the fact that they run that tournament against, because that's like their big showcase event, and they pay guys under the table. It's literally no different from a live event. So guys playing the holier than thou thing.
Yeah,
Dubai has been paying guys since the inception of that event in like 1990. They paid Tiger Woods $5 million to come play in that. So
just show up.
Don't give me that crap about this being like holier than thou. That tournament's as dirty as any live event. But I hate the fact they run it against the Farmers. Farmers is one of the best events, the tournament at Torrey. It's one of the best events of the year. And I hate the fact that money dilutes from that pot. And that's kind of the bigger conversation, right? PGA Tour versus Live. I just hate that it's doing that.
Well, let's go to Max Homa. Our guy Max Homa. He has always been an awesome follow on social media because he'll roast guys' swings, everything like that. But then he starts getting better and better and doing better and better. They talked about him making, $17,000 in like 2017, 2018 or something. Yeah. And now he obviously has no problem making money. He got a 6th win. I think 4 or so have been in his home state of California. So hot right now. Won the Farmers. Then played a skins game the next day and won $400 whole dollars.
Yep.
He's unstoppable.
That's big. Yeah. At $400, that's big winnings. But, having played Torrey, I had a chance to play Torrey in a tournament setting in December. I know it's hard then. I mean, Torrey is so hard. North or south, doesn't matter. I mean, north is a little more gettable, but south is just a kick in the teeth. I mean, it's like... For anyone that's had the chance to play like Butler National, play Butler National at sea level, seaside, with green complexes that are probably a little bit more complicated and just different grasses and stuff like that. It's just like, it's so hard. And I don't understand how guys even shoot under par out there. I mean, the shot home a hit, and the shot home a hit into 16. I mean, regardless of the 3-wood into 18, that was awesome. But like the shot into 16 into a crosswind from 230, just roasts the 4-iron, 152 miles an hour ball speed, like 10 feet, and just makes it like no big deal. I mean, I played the up tee into that same wind and roasted like a 3-iron to the front of the green. It's so long. It's so hard. The fact that he hit that shot, I mean, unless you've like been standing there, you can't appreciate how hard that shot was that he hit. And he just pulled it off, no big deal. And then 17's a nightmare of a hole. You got junk all the way up the left, falling off the cliff. You hit it like 2 feet left of the fairway. And then you got a bunker on the right side that if you hit it in there, you have no chance. The way these guys play come down the stretch is just that. It's just that much more impressive when you've actually, played the golf course too.
I think it's funny knowing that you can go out there and shoot, 66, 67 on a good day, and then you're still just awestruck by what these guys can do on the PGA Tour.
It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable the shots that these guys pull off on a course like that. I mean, that's a big boy golf course. That is such a hard golf course to play. There's no, every golf course, like you'll see it with Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach has some cupcake holes, and then they've got some holes that are really hard. But that's kind of how most golf courses are designed. Torrey Pines is like, all right, we're just going to kick you in the mouth from the first hole on. The second hole is the easiest hole in the golf course, I would say. And then they make you basically hit over a cliff on 3. And then they give you the hardest par 4 on planet Earth on number 4. And then number 5 is no cupcake. It's just punches you in the mouth the whole way around. It's such a hard golf course. And, kudos to those guys that get around.
Let's wrap up the episode. We're going to be going old school at the old course, coming up at the Dome, our 3rd event of the year. The first 2 sold out quickly, and we'll have a beer partner and samples and everything. That's always fun. We like doing that once a month.
Yeah, 4-man scramble. We'll play the old course at St. Andrews. Yeah, it's always a good time. You see a lot of the same faces, which is cool. It means we got kind of a loyal following for these events, and obviously run a pretty good event if guys are coming out, event after event. So can't wait to see everybody. We're going to do that on the 18th. So Saturday after Valentine's Day. We're thinking about doing it the Saturday before, but that'd probably been a bad call.
Gotta get the dates in.
Gotta get those Valentine's dates in. So figured after Valentine's Day would be free and clear.
All right, look forward to that. Check the socials and get registered, and we will see all of you next time.
Get in the cart.
Right at us.
The best in the business, Roger Cleveland.
Can't wait to get back to Chicago in this one.
This is Party of 4, a Mistwood Golf Club podcast.